Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money channel. XRP moves trigger bullish buzz on top Korean exchange as traders watch for bullish price breakouts. This courtesy of XRP Crypto Wolf. Guys, despite the XRP price meandering a little bit, we are seeing activity on the Korean exchanges. So apparently 60.5 million XRP. That move has triggered a bullish buzz on a top Korean exchange, causing some to wonder if this may be a strategic play by a large holder. Whale Alert just alerted us to this. Okay, about 20 million XRP was transferred from Upbit to an unknown wallet, and that is worth about $60.5 million. So it wasn't actually 60.5 million XRP, it was $60.5 million. Large-scale withdrawals from centralized exchanges are frequently interpreted as a sign of accumulation, indicating that whales may be positioning for long-term holding rather than immediate trading. And, if you take a look just at the XRP chart in the moment, guys, another great opportunity. I mean, we thought we were going to stay above $3 and or $3.01 for all intents and purposes. And we're butting up against that. I mean, we did come up, this is the 4-hour chart, by the way. We did come up above that, and now, guys, we're back down below that level. XRP is still fairly healthy, though. I mean, we are managing to stay above support levels that we saw back only last month. So we aren't really cascading down in a meaningful bearish way. And these Korean traders are, they're finding an opportunity to purchase more, moving a large quantity of XRP, at least in this one particular trade. We're seeing this as the market is cooling off a little bit. At press time, XRP was up 0.93% in the last 24 hours to about $3.03. It reached an intraday high of about $3.10, continuing its recovery from Sunday's low of $2.72. So, as I look at this chart again, we're managing, guys. We're managing. We're bouncing up against this level of support now from July 12th, 2025. So again, we found that, came up above here. I mean, we still do need to get up above this level with conviction, in my opinion. But Ali Charts is saying XRP may be headed for a deeper correction. Now, we've got a couple of competing views here. He's saying XRP could go down further. He says the Tom DeMark sequential flashed a sell signal on the 3-day chart right at the local top, triggering an ongoing pullback. So he's taking a look at that in there. Well, the $3 zone has acted as support for XRP. On-chain data points to $2.80 as that temporary buffer, but real support begins as low as $2.48. He's saying down in there. So $2.80 will bring us in and around here. As we've seen, this has acted as, whether it's down in here or down in and around here, that is that support level that he's talking about. And $2.48, I wouldn't want to get down that low, although it could happen. That is former resistance from way back in here, which is May 2025. I would rather not get that low. I'm kind of happy where we're at in the moment. If we're going to be retracing, I'd rather be there than at $2.48. To make matters worse, he says whales have offloaded over 720 million XRP, adding pressure to the sell-off. Meanwhile, the MVRV ratio just flashed a death cross, another sign that a steeper correction could be underway. So, a lot of this has to do with Bitcoin as well. I got to say, keep going back to Bitcoin. Bitcoin is seeing a little bit of weakness too. And as you guys can see, whether you're looking at the Bitcoin or the XRP chart, same type of pattern there. That's XRP. Of course, it's following Bitcoin. We did see that steep sell-off at a point here. So steep sell-off. Bitcoin started moving up, stalled out there, now forming what is looking like a double bottom, and hopefully it makes its way up. Same thing happened with XRP and many of these other altcoins. That steep decline down in here, although the rebound for XRP was nicer and not as much of a second rebound down for XRP when you compare that to Bitcoin. So, Bitcoin almost reached the bottom again, creating that double bottom pattern, whereas XRP, although this looks like a double bottom, and some may consider it a double bottom, it's not actually a double bottom, or at least it isn't yet. Hopefully we don't get back down to that $2.72 range. So that is Ali Chart's point of view. We also have Egg Crypto guys giving us the positive side, double bottom formation. So he is considering this a double bottom. This is how I want the XRP formation developing into a classic double bottom, representing one of the most bullish setups we can anticipate. XRP family, stay strong, stay steady. Together we rise. and soon we shall fly. So he's looking at this, okay, double bottom pattern in here. And yeah, we are slowly making our way down there. Even if we do cap out above that level in there, it would be, well, yeah, strong double bottom pattern. I mean, I want to see that classic double bottom and then shoot right back up. For more information, though, guys, on how I'm treating this particular bull run, I'm not round tripping my crypto. I'm paying attention for various different things, and I'm getting some great questions over there on the Patreon. Like, how am I going to know if real world utility happens? And if it doesn't happen when I think it's going to happen, am I going to miss the boat if it happens during the bear market? Well, guys, I've been thinking about this a long time. Last thing I want to do, though, is not take profits. And, if you thought XRP was going to go up to a certain price, it didn't go up to that price, and you did not cash out, well, maybe you were in the same boat as me. Follow me at patreon.com/workingmoney channel for my insight on how I'm treating this bull run. Again, guys, I have rolled back prices. They're now back to old school prices, $5 a month, but you got to subscribe and stay subscribed to lock in. So fear and greed, that's at 52. We've got altcoin season sitting at 36. Market is down by a little bit today. We are seeing a bit of red in the space. Not too bad. I think, overall, these formations are looking fairly positive. And yes, just to kind of reiterate, just to kind of go over this again, real world utility hasn't scaled. I'm going to say it's not that it's not there yet, because we are seeing, some applications for some of these cryptocurrencies, but we really haven't seen it scale. When we do see it scale, we're not going to see people like Caitlyn Long crying, being this upset. This courtesy of Mr. Intuitive here on Twitter. And I'm sure you guys, maybe you haven't, but there has been some Caitlyn Long controversy within the last day or so. Ashley Prosper posting this. Sounds like Caitlyn Long is mad that Ripple will get their Fed master account before Custodia Bank. Add that to the 42 banks that came together to try to stop Ripple's banking license, and you start to see the bigger picture. Ripple is going to change the game. So guys, there's a lot wrapped up in this. For you guys that don't remember, Custodia Bank was denied a Fed membership master account. Now, this was all the way back in early 2023, January 30th, 2023. Was when this came out. The Federal Reserve Board of Governors and the Federal Reserve Bank of Kansas City on Friday denied crypto-focused Custodia Bank's request to become a member of the Federal Reserve, as well as its application for a master account. In a statement Friday, the Fed said Custodia's crypto-focused business model presented significant safety and soundness risks. Hours later, the Kansas City Fed filed court documents disclosing it had rejected the bank's master account application, according to American Banker. The actions come as the Cheyenne, Wyoming-based bank is suing both the Fed and the Kansas City Fed over what it calls an unlawful delay to its request to join the central bank's payment system. So this is what happened to Custodia Bank about 2.5 years ago. Now, guys, we have Caitlyn Long going on the record, and just as we thought the fight was done, get your battle gear on.
Ones where there was no money up front or very little money up front, and that's
Tether, and it looks like Ripple, the Ripple network has been blessed for a variety of reasons. If you're happy to push back on me about that, I'm just reading what I see. So I'm not. I bring it up, and everybody's like, "You're shilling for Ripple." Again, I'm not shilling for anything, folks.
I don't mind that. I think it overstates how important that network is. Part of the problem is the banks have always been suspicious of it,
right?
Because it is a centralized network. And the tokenomics are backwards, right?
Mm-hmm.
So one of the step back in creating these tokenization platforms, the people who extracted money up front are never going to be trusted, because everybody's going to look and think that anything that they do is an exit scam to try to dump on retail. Okay, the most effective tokenization platforms are the ones where there was no money up front or very little money up front, and that's Bitcoin and Ethereum. So it's really that simple. I don't think you're ever going to get the trust because of all that money that got raised up front. That was the first of the ICOs in their case. And that's, I mean, they've been at this longer than almost anybody else. And they haven't made a lot of progress. And now what did they try to do? Instead of trying to sell that into the banking industry, they're getting their own regulated financial institutions and trying to issue a stable coin. So that's kind of, in some ways, an admission that the base layer blockchain didn't get the adoption that they were looking for. Now, I will also say the Biden administration did a was a big part of that, right? By forcing it offshore and saying, you can't, basically, this is the SEC, Gary Gensler, trying to use that as because it was the obvious case since it was the first ICO to say that was an illegal securities offering, right? And going after them. And that hamstrung them. It didn't hurt Ripple as much as the Fed hurt us, right? Everybody who was targeted by the Biden administration was hurt to varying degrees. So, but I'm acknowledging that for the XRP army that's going to come after me for saying something I think rational about it, that it's not going to take over. It's not. If it were going to take over, it would have taken over a long time ago. And now they've actually pivoted to issuing US dollar stablecoins on the network, which kind of tells you that they understand that the base layer network is not going to become the base layer of replacing SWIFT. And part of it is because of those tokenomics. But that said, I mean, I think part of the reason Ethereum is running, the price has run a lot, is because when the U.S. Treasury decides which permissionless network it's going to tokenize T-bills on, and by the way, they've, of course, not announced this. I'm speculating based on something that I heard. This is coming. They're not going to use Ripple. They're going to use Ethereum. They may use Bitcoin, but the Bitcoin layer 2s are not mature enough for something like that, right? They've got to think like a bank. And the most mature blockchain platform by far for this type of issuance is Ethereum. Solana's coming up, but it's so centralized. I don't know that the U.S. government would want to take that risk.
Okay, I can't imagine that Caitlyn Long is this uneducated about this topic. She's got to be hiding something, because that is utter stupidity. So we got a few things here that she talks about that just doesn't make any sense. Okay, she talks about Ripple and the RLUSD. Fine. I think Ripple pivoted to the RLUSD because they knew that in the United States, that was what was going to get regulated first, and they did not want to miss the boat. It wasn't because XRP failed. Certainly not because of that. She also says she doesn't see the underlying XRPL structure being the fundamental base layer to move all the money and to, for example, replace SWIFT. Well, we've talked about that ad nauseum on this channel and other channels, finding new patents. I mean, even Brad Garlinghouse has come out and said that Ripple could have 14% of Swift's business in 5 years. If you guys didn't catch the video I did on that, I'll link it up here. So a lot of misnomers here. Rhetorical question, this coming from Jimmy Valley. If Ripple had actually conducted an ICO, that's an initial coin offering, do you think the SEC might have been a tad bit more successful in its 4.5-year litigation against Ripple? Ripple was found to have sold XRP under a contract or a series of contracts to institutional investors. He says that's it. See the judgment. It's on page 18. And what's the worst part of it all? Even assuming XRP was a security for the purposes of these sales, the court found, as a matter of fact, that XRP was not a security, by the way. But let's have our brains on the floor for a moment. Do you know what the securities laws consider a sale only to accredited investors? A fancy defined term that means big rich kids like institutions, irrespective of the number of investors involved in the deal. Anyone, Bueller? A private placement. And guess what? Private placements are exempt from registration pursuant to this Securities Act, the 1933 Securities Act. Ripple didn't even break the law. No, not even a foot fault. What? How could this be? Our federal government, through the SEC, colluded with members of the CCP and other private parties to defraud the American people under the color of the law. So he goes on here and he finishes this off, but it is a fairly lengthy tweet. I am going to link this in the description if you guys are interested in reading further. Speaking of the CPP, okay, another one from Jimmy Valley here responding to Digital Asset Buy's tweet here. Ethereum is completely legit, according to Caitlyn Long. Ripple, however, did everything wrong, according to her. And Jimmy Valley bringing us some more information, some added supporting material. $500,000 donation. Wanxian Blockchain in 2015 promised to continuously support the development of Ethereum as needed. After the successful launch of the Ethereum mainnet in 2015, the Ethereum Foundation clearly had an urgent need for additional funding. But we were keen to keep our promise. Therefore, we proposed to the foundation that if the Ethereum Developers Conference is moved to China, Wanxian Blockchain Labs will sponsor the entire event, and any ticket revenue from sponsorship revenue generated will go to the Ethereum Foundation. Hence, that was the beginning of the annual Shanghai International Blockchain Week. So there you guys have it, a connection to, Ethereum connected to China. Guys, you have to remember, despite the FUD, Ripple is building a bank. It's nothing like Wall Street expected. Inside Ripple's National Trust Bank, okay? Play and what it means for XRP and the RLUSD moving forward. As you know, this just isn't another banking license. Ripple has filed to open Ripple National Trust, a federal charter trust based in New York City. And we've talked about this a bit before, direct Fed access. So that is huge. But here's the twist. There's no checking accounts, no mortgages, no branches, just one mission: run the new rails of money, okay? So what is a national trust bank? Anyways, a federally regulated institution with full fiduciary powers, but no retail deposits or loans. It's not here to be Chase Bank. It's here to move billions in real time with XRP and the RLUSD. And again, the RLUSD, an extension of XRP, because Ripple had to. They didn't really have a choice because stablecoins were getting legislated first. With this charter, Ripple could hold digital asset reserves, settle billions in institutional payments, plug directly into Fedwire and ACH, escape the slow, expensive traditional banking middlemen. This is next gen from the inside. What Ripple's really building, guys, Ripple National Trust Bank is the core engine for RLUSD stablecoin backing, XRP institutional liquidity pools, 24/7 global settlement rails, bank-to-bank payments without banks. They're not joining the system, they are rewiring it. So direct Fed access, this is a game changer. Instantly convert fiat to RLUSD, skip correspondent bankings, settle with finality inside the US banking core, compete with legacy institutions on speed and cost. So, and the timing is everything. Okay, let me just keep going here. Launching RLUSD, writing new US crypto legislation, seizing the shift to on-chain banking. So they launched the USD, so even Diana is saying this. They launched the USD because it was part of the legislation. And this is how they're going to move into the new financial system. It's not going to necessarily be through XRP at first. And guys, this is why I keep saying the real world utility will come, but it might not come right away. And again, I'm just going to say it for more information on how I'm treating this particular bull run, because if you're expecting 500, 1,000, $1 million per XRP, it might happen, but I'm looking at realistic targets for this particular moment. For now, if we are in a 4-year cycle, follow me for more information on that. All this is happening, though, you have to keep in mind, all this is happening, though, at a pace that makes sense for regulators, that makes sense for governments. Wall Street's rails are old. Ripple is laying the new tracks and doing it before everyone else wakes up. What's in the public filing? Okay, the OCC's public filing does show documents, board of directors, New York headquarters, legal structure, high-level business plan. Why so secret? That private section likely contains global liquidity partnership plans, XRP plus USD Fed integration blueprints, institutional grade risk, and custody frameworks, Ripple's roadmap to becoming the core infrastructure for digital asset finance. And if it is approved, guys, this charter makes Ripple a crypto-native bank, a real-time payment operator, a direct pipeline to the U.S. financial core. No more begging for partnerships. They will own the infrastructure. And so Diana does say here, Ripple isn't applying for a bank to play nice. They're building one to control the game. RLUSD, XRP as settlement, global money without friction. All roads lead through Ripple National Trust Bank. This is the foundation of the new financial internet. So a great tweet thread here from Diana. Wanted to thank her for posting that. Wanted to thank Digital Asset Buy, Jimmy Valley, of course. Wanted to thank Ashley Prosper and Mr. Intuitive, Eggreg Crypto, Ali Charts, and XRP Crypto Wolf for posting those. It's also really strange that Bill Hinman was asked to divest out of 3 companies while at the SEC, this courtesy of Cowboy Crypto. One was PJ Partners, who had one listed investment on Crunchbase, which was none other than Custodia Bank, which is Caitlyn Long's company. So another interesting observation here, wanted to bring that to your attention. And Mickle, too, guys, saying, honestly shocked how much Caitlyn Long gets wrong here. I don't know if I'm so much shocked or if there's something else going on. First, he says the XRPL is decentralized. Second, there was no XRP ICO. Third, Ethereum was clearly the first ICO. Vitalik admitted this, stating what Ripple did was easier legally. Joe Lubin credits himself for creating the ICO boom. The XRPL was created before a single coin was ever sold. Ethereum was sold before the network even existed. The XRPL was the first blockchain with native tokenization. It was literally created for assets like the RLUSD to be issued on. The idea this is some kind of pivot is a complete lack of understanding of how and why the XRPL was created, exactly what my thoughts are too. In the Bitcoin ecosystem, Bitcoin is distributed by miners selling Bitcoin in the in the XRP ledger ecosystem, XRP has been distributed by Ripple selling XRP. This obsession with where the coins come from has no bearing on the utility of the network. So very good and astute observations here from Mikkel. I wanted to thank him for posting that as well. Guys, don't let it fool you. These people are very, very upset that Ripple is going to take over the banking system. Caitlyn Long has been waiting for that Custody FedMaster account for a very long time. And, I don't know. Is she still being denied? Ripple is definitely on the docket. They are now moving fast and furiously into the new financial system. And again, it might not happen all at once. We might not even see it by the end of the year. This is why I'm taking profits off the table. Follow me at patreon.com/workingmoneychannel for more information on how I'm looking at the crypto market and my crypto targets, my journey, basically my trading journey for this particular bull run. The Working Money Channel merch store is offering 15% off right now, guys, till the end of the month. So check it out. If you guys are interested, link is in the description. That's just my opinion, but I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.